I've been playing a promo tour all over Scandinavia and in Germany, and I've been having a ball. Yes. Yeah, I'm a person that stutters. I have to tell everyone that so that they don't think I'm crazy up here.
The most famous stutter in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Scatman John.
Hi, Peter. How are you? Glad to be here in Oslo. Great place. Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Oh.
You're 52 years old, 52 år gammal,
Yes,
from California.
Yes, sir, I am. I'm 52. I'm a jazz player, but now I've all of a sudden turned into a rap singer, and I'm having a ball. I've been playing a promo tour all over Scandinavia and in Germany, and I've been having a ball. Yes. Yeah, I'm a person that stutters. I have to tell everyone that so that they don't think I'm crazy up here.
Det kan bli et langt intervju dette hvis Scatman John på en måte slår til for fullt med stamminga si. When did you realize? Nå skjønte du at stamming på en måte kan gjøre deg rik og berømt. That stuttering can be your way to fame and wealth.
Stuttering is what taught me how to scat sing.
I used to feel like I had to hide my stutter. And by hiding my stutter or by hiding anything about you, you hide yourself and you kind of do a disservice to yourself. For me, I used to think I had to prioritize fluency and even silence over stuttering or trying or being open with this thing about me. So just to give you guys a little bit of a backstory or a timeline, some of you guys may or may not know this. I'm not sure if I explained it already, but so I was speech delayed. I had an issue with my speaking since I was born, since I was a kid. I was in speech therapy my whole life, throughout high school, from preschool to kindergarten, all the way through high school. But when I was a kid, it was very mild. Through elementary school, it was very mild, no issues. But I was still in speech therapy for some reason, even though I never knew why. Or I knew that I had a stutter, but it wasn't like, it just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. And then middle school came, and then when I started middle school, my stutter started to flare up in middle school, but I was still able to express myself. I was still able to hang out with people, to be active in class, and to be a part of stuff that was outside of class. Like, I was a big soccer player. I was a part of like a soccer travel team, you know, but since middle school was a time that my stutter started to flare up. Also, this was the time where I first started to notice negative reactions to my speech. You know, like, I had some other classmates kind of tease and make fun of me. But to be honest, though, I was very confused. Because for me, it wasn't a big deal. Or maybe, like, I can't see how I am, or like I don't know how I come across, but it was never like I was just, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, it just didn't really make much sense to me at that time, because my stutter was mild. It was probably how it is right now. You know, it's fluent, but there's times where I stutter, but yeah, and then so middle school was cool, was fun, and then high school, so for some reason my stutter flared up again, but this time, like, the worst that I have ever, like it was the worst. It was so random, and I never stuttered like that, never, and not even as a kid, not even when I was like speech delayed. But it was like really, really, really severe. And again, like I was in speech therapy throughout high school. But this stuttering, like, it made me, like, it controlled me. Like, it started to get a little bit of a hold on me. And also with stuttering, for those who may or may not know, stuttering is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, you guys have seen like the iceberg image where it's like it's the one like above water, and then there's a part where it's like just underwater, and it's like it's just massive underwater that you don't see. So it's like that. So like stuttering is like, yeah, you can see a person stuttering, or you can see a person may have this or that or something that, but there's a whole part that you don't see. And so for stuttering, it was like anxiety, like nervousness, like high school was the first time that I would have like anxiety attacks, and I never knew what it was when it was happening. I never knew. And it took me like after high school to kind of look back and realize like, oh shit, like that wasn't normal. Like but anyway, so I was stuttering a lot. I was having like bad nightmares. I was very depressed. I had a lot of anxiety. And so with all this going on, it stemmed from my stutter because I wasn't in control of what I said. So withdrew myself from uh like everything, basically, like school, friends, like I don't know, I just started to withdraw myself. But I was still a great student. I was still a great athlete. I was still on the soccer team, and people still knew me, and like, like I knew them, and we would talk here and there, but and like I would hang out like here and there, but it was not as often as I wanted to. Also, like a lot of people in high school were like not the greatest to me as well because of my stutter as well. So just like how I mentioned in middle school, like when my stutter started to flare up, also that came along with people who may react a certain way. And in high school, like my stutter was really severe, and I had a lot of people around me who weren't too supportive, or they were like, they just, when I was going through it, it was difficult. I'm like, damn, like I'm like just a normal kid, like, but but I don't know. High school was really weird for me, and that's why I might be a little bit struggling to kind of explain. High school was really, it was such a unique experience for me. Cause yeah, like I was on the soccer team, like I had people to hang out with in class, like outside of class, but then also I was withdrawn a lot because of my stutter. And like, but then like I was going to school good, and like my grades were good, but then I had like a lot of people who would make fun of me about my stutter. And then I had people who supported me. And this is also what's kind of weird, like support, like you will be surprised who does support you and who doesn't support you. It's really weird, and I will get to that soon. um but yeah, so like people in high school, they were, they didn't know how to handle my stutter, I guess, but then some people did. And then also the same thing with family, like the same thing with family, like in high school when my stutter started to flare up, like, you know the same thing in family, like some people in your family were supportive, and they just had an understanding, and then some people didn't. And yeah, it's hurtful, but it's like it is what it is. Like, and like I'm getting older now, and it's like you shouldn't, like, just be yourself. And yeah, that sounds so cliche, like, yeah, be yourself, but that's all that you can do. And have fun with being yourself. And people are always going to have something to say regardless of what you do. You could literally do this, and that. You could do 99% of the things right, and people will still have something to say, or something, or something negative to think about. Like they like, and that goes for friends and that goes for family. But yeah, so it's like you might as well just be yourself at the end of the day, because people are always going to have something to say, and you know, you are special. You have a creative spark within yourself. You do have a soul. You do have a spirit. So you are, you know, you are more than maybe what you realize. Senior year, high school was happening. And this is when I took a little bit of a turning point. This is when I started to make that first step to just be myself and express. And just like how I said, just being myself. And what I mean by that is I stuttered more openly. I stuttered in class more. I stuttered on the soccer field more. I stuttered with friends more. And because I knew that I needed this. Like, I knew that I needed to heal by, like, stuttering in front of people, by doing the complete, like, by doing the complete opposite of what my mind was saying. Like, no, like, don't stutter in front of them, like, don't stutter, like. But I knew, I'm like, but that's the only way. Like, I have to go opposite of what my brain is trying to tell me to do. But yeah, wait, where did I leave off? Okay, so senior year of high school, I've always had this urge to express myself, but it just became stronger and stronger and stronger, and it bottled up. So what I did my senior year, and I don't know if this was like cringy or not, or if it's like, oh, you're whatever, but it's like, so my senior year, for my schedule, I made a presentation for all of my classes that I had, and I basically just explained what a stutter is, and that, like, I have it. Basically it was just to kind of say that, like, I have a stutter, and that, like, if you hear me stuttering, it's just that, and then here's some facts about stuttering. Because in my mindset, if I were to disclose my stutter, then that would help me be like, okay, so now they know that that I stutter. So now that, like, if I do stutter, they're not like what, like, you know, like, they're not confused or whatever. But I don't know. But that was good practice for me. It was great exercise, and I loved it. And but yeah, so when I did this, how many classes did I have? I had like 7. I don't know. Okay, fine, like 7 classes. I'm gonna just say 7. I could be wrong. And I did this presentation in each of my classes that I had. And also, this is also why I say high school was a little bit of a unique experience for me. A lot of people supported me, but a lot of people didn't support me. And like I mentioned earlier, like, support may not come from familiar faces. And you might actually be surprised by the people that actually would support you. So when I did this speech or whatever, I had like a normal set of people that, like, I would talk to and everything, and a lot of them just didn't say anything. Like, they were just like no support, no whatever. Maybe like two were supportive out of like I don't know, like 15 or 10, like 15, 10, like I don't really know. But yeah, but then also, like, yeah, like I was just, because there was people that I never talked to, and like I thought that there was just, but then they actually like they were like, hey, like I know that we don't talk often or whatever, but like I just want to say, like that was like a good of you, and like I support you or whatever. I'm like, thank you. I'm like, thank you. Like that's perfect. Like that's all I was looking for, just that. And then so now that would like allow me just to do my normal stuff and just be active in class more and all that. But yeah, but you know, there's light and dark, there's support and there's hate. So I got support, but I also got teased. I got made fun of, I got talked to behind my back, and I still might, like I still might, Um but yeah, but just I was just surprised about the diversity of support and the diversity of hate, and the familiar faces were more prone to like the not supportive side. Um but yeah, so after that, so when I was done with high school, I was happy. I had fun in high school. It was okay. I went through a lot. Like I went through a whole lot with my stuttering and everything. But now that I'm looking back, like I start to realize the fun parts that I've had. But I knew that I was going to college, so I started my freshman year at Purdue Northwest. And then this was around the time that I started my YouTube channel, was around my freshman year. And also I took a public speaking class my freshman year, and I loved it. Like I fell in love with it. Like I would always look forward to it, because again, I knew that that's what I needed to help me with my stutter. And also it just fit. Like it just fit who I was, cuz like I just naturally liked it. Even if I didn't have a stutter, I would still enjoy it. I would still, you know, uh be a part of it. But the class was only like for the semester, and I tried to look to see if there was any like clubs, I guess, for public speaking at Purdue Northwest, but they didn't have any. Um, I'm like, okay, but that's fine. And then my sophomore year, I transferred to West Lafayette because I was studying speech language pathology. So I kind of had to, I didn't really know if I wanted to or not, but it's like the choice was already made up. So it's like I had to go. Okay, yeah. So I went to West Lafayette, and I was only there for a short time. And so it was cool, but it was very short lived because the setup wasn't the greatest, and also like a lot of things were happening in my life, like my personal life, that wasn't too great. But so I transferred to West Lafayette, and I met a lot of great people. And again, I was still testing the waters with my stutter. My stutter wasn't the greatest, but I was involved in the National like Stuttering Association community. I was involved in the National Student Speech Language and Hearing Association, which is just a club at West Lafayette for like all the speech therapists, speech pathologists, and audiologists. I'm not too sure, because I was only interested in the speech part. I wasn't like interested in the audio in the hearing part. But yeah, I mean, and then like I met some cool people. Like I would see the same people in class at the gym. Like I have always been like an active gym goer. I would always go to work out, to go play basketball, and I would always see the same people from school, from classes, and then also at the gym. And like I would just spend my time there. I had a job at McDonald's. It was, yeah, don't I wouldn't recommend to work at McDonald's, to be honest. Mm-mm. I stopped making videos around this time because things in my life were so complicated. But anyway, but even though I was in a new environment and I was networking a little bit and I was being a part of these clubs and the communities, I wasn't making much progress with my speaking. I feel like I wasn't testing my stutter enough. And maybe that was just me not being patient, or maybe that was just me not putting myself in, or putting myself out of my comfort zone more. I'm really not too sure, but I was trying my best to be involved in stuff, you know, and I was. But yeah, but like I would say West Lafayette, as far as speaking wise, was a little bit of a regression. So I switched my major actually, and I came back home to Northwest Indiana. I switched my major to supply chain management, and I decided to go back to Purdue Northwest. I have this written down because I wrote notes as the turning point two. This is the second turning point. The first turning point was the last year of high school, and then I named when I came back from West Lafayette as the second. So I came back to Northwest Indiana and I went straight into school. Supply chain management is a business major, you know, and I'm gonna get my bachelor's at the moment. I may want to get my MBA down the line, but just for now, I'm just gonna complete my bachelor's and gain some work experience first. But yeah, so I came back to Northwest Indiana and I was going to school and I would always have a job. So I was in the job market and I had 2 offers, okay? Now, I had 2 offers from Home Depot and from Target. Okay? And I chose Home Depot just because of the scheduling. It was better scheduling with my school. And I started at Home Depot last year in March. And I worked there until this past February. So this was the second turning point. Home Depot has taught me a whole lot. Home Depot really helped me with my speaking. I had a supervisor who stuttered. When I had my interview, like my stutter was a little bit on the severe side because I was just nervous, like, you know, just the normal job interview stuff, like you're just trying to do well, I guess. But yeah, and I got interviewed with the manager and my supervisor, and the supervisor had a stutter. His name was Paxton. And he was in my interview, and I was like, during the interview, I was like, yeah, and also like I have a stutter as well. So, you know, so like I just started to disclose myself. And then he said that he had one too. I'm like, oh, you know, like that's cool. And then I kind of knew that like I was gonna get hired. So this job at Home Depot, this was my first job in retail, and it was a lot of customer service. So, especially during the summer at Home Depot. So there was customers coming all directions, and it forced me to practice my speaking. And for a while, I didn't even realize this. But for some parts I did, but it forced me to talk a lot with customers and have conversations with customers and just talk. It just helped me with my talking skills, because I can naturally be social. I'm like a very open guy. But since with my stutter though, you know, that kind of put a cap. So with this Home Depot, it kind of took that cap off. Oh, sorry about that. There's a guy next to me. But yeah, anyway, so constant customer service helped me a lot. And also, I felt comfortable working with Paxton because he had a stutter. So not only like I felt like I hit the gold mine. I hit the gold mine. I hit the gold mine with this job because it helped me out so much. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I got lucky, and because I had a role model to kind of look, and even if he didn't have a stutter, I would still like be like, oh yeah, he's a great leader. He's probably the best supervisor I've had. And like that's just not me being a bias because he also stuttered. But like that's my point. Even if he didn't stutter, he would definitely be one of the best. Home Depot actually had a lot of great management. I loved all my managers. They were great, great. They were one of the best I've had for sure. But yeah, so I worked there for like a year and I loved it. And I met people, and I started to meet people who didn't judge me for my stutter. In high school, people judged me based off my stutter. In college, now, but in Home Depot, like I met people who didn't judge, And yeah, like I've obviously met people in the past who didn't judge, but what I mean by that is I started to make progress, and that's what I mean by this was the second turning point, and this helped me a lot, and this helped me with my speech, with my self-worth, with my willingness to talk, my acceptance of myself and others, and my authenticity has been a lot better as well too. And that's something that I also value a lot, is being authentic. And I know like that sounds cliche or whatever, but I mean, I don't know. It just sounds very appealing to me, And maybe like, like I didn't have a choice but to be authentic because of my stutter maybe. So, like maybe that's why I love it so much, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, so this whole thing with me stuttering and me being free and liberated from my stutter, or this couldn't even be about stuttering. This could even be about like whatever you may want to like hide, or you feel like you have to hide something. Like if it's like you're too like this, if you look a certain way, or if you sound a certain way, if you talk a certain way, if you like walk a certain way, like I don't know, just being yourself and just embracing it and going with the flow, I think is easier. But yeah, but again, this is something that I'm still continuing to develop, embracing who you are and accepting everything, and but authenticity can come at a cost, and I know that. But I feel like it's something to explore, and it's something to push boundaries and be a little bit of a trailblazer, because being different doesn't sound too bad if you ask me. Like I don't know, but yeah. So if you guys want to see more stuttering videos, you guys can go look in my channel. I will be posting more. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. And I will see you guys soon in the next video.